Good morning. Great, it is good morning. It's not raining. My name is Ray Lane, and I am chairman of the Board of Trustees of Carnegie Mellon University. I'm very pleased to welcome all of you, especially those that are on the web, including students and friends from Silicon Valley and Qatar, and other locations all around the world. I'm also pleased to recognize Pennsylvania State Representative Dan Frankel. Dan, I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, but you're here somewhere. But it says you're here. As well as aides to Pennsylvania State Senator Jay Costa and Councilman Bill Reduto. Well, it's a great day. We're here to celebrate this remarkable research university, and we are here to celebrate and honor a great American philanthropist. It is my privilege, and it is certainly my honor today to announce some wonderful news. William S. Dietrich, although we call him Uncle Bill, Uncle Bill, there's a little cheering section out here that just loves you, right, Uncle Bill? Bill, a longtime trustee and great friend of the university, a man with a lifetime of committed service to this city, has announced that he has made plans to provide a gift of $265 million fund to support Carnegie Mellon. Let me say it again. Just to confirm that you heard me correctly, $265 million. Thank you, Bill. This is the largest gift from an individual in the university's history. In fact, it is one of the top 10 most generous gifts ever made to an American university by an individual. Personally, I want to say it has been a delight to serve Carnegie Mellon alongside Bill Dietrich on the Board of Trustees. It was no surprise to me to learn that Bill had structured this gift with characteristic thoughtfulness and care. Its purpose is wide-ranging, and it will provide great flexibility to allocate these funds campus-wide to areas of emerging opportunity and greatest need. It is a gift for the entire institution. I have to say, it feels a bit ironic to me that just last week, a pretty slow week just before Labor Day, I received a new book sent to me, authored by Bill. And today I have the honor to announce this great gift and speak of the respect I have for this man. Now, I'm an odd duck. A lot of people would agree with that statement. But I'm odd because I live in Silicon Valley and I love Pittsburgh. In fact, I love Pittsburgh more than Silicon Valley. So when I get a book called Eminent Pittsburghers, I don't just set it aside and say, well, I'll get to it sometime. I open it to see if I'm listed as one of them. And to my disappointment, Bill only wrote about long gone dead Pittsburghers, but great men whom everybody in Pittsburgh today owes a debt of gratitude to, because they gave back and did it in a way that continues to enrich Pittsburgh throughout generations. Bill wrote in this book, and I quote, "The 40-year period from 1870 to 1910 marks Pittsburgh's golden age. Favorable geography, unique natural resources, and a superabundance of entrepreneurial talent lifted Pittsburgh to a position of national and international prominence never seen before or since. Pittsburgh was a seething cauldron of entrepreneurial activity," end quote. Sounds like Silicon Valley. Imagine a period of time when Andrew Carnegie, the Mellons, George Westinghouse, Henry Clay Frick, and Henry Hines all walked the streets of Pittsburgh. Had it not been for the generosity of those successful entrepreneurs, Pittsburgh today would be a mere shadow of itself. Today, we're witnessing history repeated, as we are the ones that can claim to know Bill Dietrich, another great entrepreneur who walked the streets of Pittsburgh. And just like those kings of our golden era, Bill now rekindles the sustaining greatness of our city, and his generosity will ensure the education of future generations. Bill's announcement today is all about the future of Pittsburgh. It's an incredible investment in American research and in our youth. It is also crucially important in the final years of Carnegie Mellon's Inspire Innovation campaign. And we hope and expect that Bill's generosity will be very, very contagious as we continue the campaign to its completion in 2013. This kind of generosity is an enormous vote of confidence in the university. It is confidence built on Carnegie Mellon's amazing and rapid rise to the front ranks of global research universities over the past few decades. It's a confidence built on Bill's conviction that higher education has never been more important to us all, and that knowledge and human creativity are limitless resources that can and will shape our collective future. Bill's gift is also confidence in the leadership of this university, and particularly the leadership of Jerry Cohen. As we all know, Jerry is a remarkable man. His enthusiasm for this university seems to grow stronger every year. Jerry's intellectual curiosity, his humility, his abiding respect for his faculty colleagues, and his engagement with students all convince me that Carnegie Mellon has at its helm one of the great leaders of the world of higher education today. Join me. Join me in welcoming the 8th president of Carnegie Mellon, Jerry Cohen.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. And thank you, Bill. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is truly a very proud and historic day for Carnegie Mellon. Bill Dietrich has now joined the ranks of the great patrons of American higher education. Most of you here know him, and know him as a Western Pennsylvania native, a man who's had a remarkable career as an entrepreneur in the steel industry, and then as an investor and a money manager. Bill's very proud of Pittsburgh and proud to be a Pittsburgher, and he's focused his energy, his leadership, and his generosity on many organizations and institutions in our city. And fortunately for us, Carnegie Mellon has long been one of them. Working with Bill as a trustee and listening to his counsel has been one of the pleasures and highlights of my time as president. His strong opinions, and if you know Bill, you know he has strong opinions, and his leadership have made our board and our university a better place in many, many ways. Thank you, Bill, for all that you've done for Carnegie Mellon, and especially for this phenomenal gift. We're going to be using the word historic many times today, and it's a word that is apt in this case. This gift is truly historic. That's not just talk. Even taking into account the time value of money, this gift is larger than the one Andrew Carnegie made in establishing this university in 1900. And the gift will have a lasting impact in the way the Mellon family's generosity has had on this university over many, many decades. Indeed, Bill's gift is perpetual, and its impact will grow over time. Words like phenomenal, magnificent, and every other superlative you can think of are completely apt on this day. Philanthropists like Carnegie, the Mellons, and now Bill Dietrich are people who get excited about ideas, people who care about knowledge creation and education. They share this university's commitment in many ways, and in particular by investing in an area where Carnegie Mellon can make a difference. Over the years, these people have helped to set wonderful things in motion, including major achievements in computer science, in engineering, in the natural sciences, in business and the social sciences, in public policy, and in the arts and the humanities. Things that have changed the world and added new dimensions to the university's strengths and capacities. Carnegie Mellon has a quality that is rare in higher education. It's hard to pin down, but one of our graduates, Thomas Cooley, who went on to become dean of the Stern School of Business at New York University, put it this way: Carnegie Mellon's is a culture of serious inquiry, a place that emphasizes theory and evidence rather than anecdote. Carnegie Mellon is a place that encourages thinking that transcends conventional wisdom and the boundaries of disciplines. It's a culture that's characterized by a preference for solving problems collaboratively and a determined ambition to take on difficult and meaningful challenges. Challenges that, once met, change the way the world lives and works. That's Carnegie Mellon. Like Bill, we are proud to be Pittsburghers and to be a Pittsburgh institution. Our distinctive culture has its roots here and is reflective of our hometown. We share Pittsburgh's lack of boastful pretension, although I have to admit we are boasting a little bit today, but it's back to self-effacement tomorrow, full time. We believe that success comes from hard work and a lot of patient effort, just the way Pittsburgh and Pittsburghers do. Ray mentioned that Bill has designed this gift so that it benefits the entire university. and that is indeed true. This is especially valuable to a place like Carnegie Mellon, where the ability to respond quickly and nimbly to unexpected opportunity is critical to our success. This has never been more important than it is now. As the rate of change in science and technology and in society continues to accelerate, every advance in new knowledge alters the research and education agenda in ways that we can't predict. It's even altering the way we conceive of research itself. A flexible and generous endowment gift like Bill's will allow Carnegie Mellon to follow new lines of inquiry opened up by this pace of change. It will help us to recruit brilliant young faculty, to build an innovative lab or studio, and almost certainly it will help us to advise whole new fields of study, something we have done many times in the past. I don't think any of us can fully imagine what amazing directions science and technology or the arts will be pursuing a decade from now, nor can we envision the full impact of this gift, but we can have confidence that Carnegie Mellon people will be setting the pace because Bill Gift will make it possible. While Bill's gift will benefit the entire university, a significant portion of it will be used to support the humanities and social sciences. In recognition of this and of Bill's extraordinary generosity, we asked Bill if we could rename HNSS in his honor. He agreed, but he asked that we name the college not for himself, but in the memory of his beloved mother. This is truly in the tradition of Andrew Carnegie, who, as you may know, named a college at the university in honor of his mother, Margaret Morrison Carnegie. I am extremely pleased to announce that the college will henceforth be known as the Marianna Dietrich College of Humanities and Social Sciences. The naming of a college is a momentous occasion in the life of any university. And in fact, one that we will celebrate later today with the students and the faculty of the new Dietrich College. But let me underscore now that for Carnegie Mellon, the naming of its Humanities and Social Sciences College is especially significant. It represents a statement about the progress that HNSS has made over the last several years, and especially under the leadership of Dean John Lahosky. It's also a statement about Carnegie Mellon's commitment to the future of the humanities and social sciences at this university. To commemorate this new name, we've created a plaque, and I'm going to be assisted by two students who are going to get up right now. There they are. This is Andres Velez, a sophomore in economics, and Medini Anavahala, a senior in the Science and Humanities Scholars program. If you will unveil the plaque, voila. This plaque will be installed in the entrance lobby of Baker Hall, the historic building that houses the college. A wonderful portrait of Andrew Carnegie already hangs there, as does another plaque honoring our first president, Arthur Hammerschlag. This is the plaque that students rub the nose of for good luck before exams. Bill's plaque will take its place there, marking this as an historic day in the life of the university. This is a great and wonderful day for Carnegie Mellon, and I thank Bill Dietrich from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the entire university community. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased and honored to present to you our guest of honor, our great donor, our great supporter, Bill Dietrich. Bill.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us on a great day for Carnegie Mellon University. It is wonderful to share this occasion with so many of my friends, but this day is not about Bill Dietrich. It's about my mother, Marianna Brown, and it's about Western Pennsylvania and Carnegie Mellon. My mother, Marianna Brown, was born in Cherry Tree, Pennsylvania, a town so small you can't find it on the map today. Her father, Dr. David A. Brown, moved to Greenville, Pennsylvania when Marianna was a young girl. In Greenville, he was an eye, ear, nose, and throat doctor and practiced for 50 years. My father was also from Greenville and married my mother shortly after they had both graduated from Thiel College. Mom died in March of 1983, 1 week before her 50th wedding anniversary. Dad, to his everlasting credit, told me countless times that the best decision he ever made was to marry my mother. My mother's life centered around her family and her unconditional love for her family. This is a notion somewhat out of date today. It worked for her. In the early 60s, when my father was attempting to make a financial comeback, a lot of his work was done from home. In the morning, my mother would deliver the first breakfast at 7:30. By 8:30, the eggs would be stone cold, and a fresh breakfast was put on the coffee table. It would sometimes take 3 breakfasts to get through the morning. Mom logged a lot of time in the principal's office on damage control duties. One of my more notable exploits was setting off a firecracker in a pencil sharpener. The air was fogged with pencil shavings. Pulling my bacon out of the fire in the pencil sharpener escapade was one of my mother's finest hours. Marianna Brown Dietrich was no tiger mother. The happiness of our little family, my father, my sister, and myself, took precedence over all else. I don't mean to describe our family as an early version of Ozzie and Harriet Nelson. It was not. Our family was male-dominated. I remember as a young boy being packed off to Sunday school at the point of a gun. I raised a logical question with Mom. Why is Dad out playing golf every Sunday when I'm going to Sunday school? Mom's answer, Billy, when he was your age, he loved to go to Sunday school. I had my doubts. Growing up in rural Conneaut Lake, Pennsylvania, the Boy Scouts played an important part in my life. And as a side note, Conneaut Lake is 3/4 of a mile wide and 3 miles long and is the largest natural lake in the state of Pennsylvania, which tells you Pennsylvania is not the land of 10,000 lakes. To get my Boy Scout merit badge, I had to take apart the trap under a sink. To repair the botched plumbing job, Mom had to call in a plumber. I was an Eagle Scout and attended the 3rd National Jamboree in Orange County, California in 1953, and the 8th International Jamboree at Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario in 1955. When time came for college, it was a simple process. SAT test one time in February of my senior year, and that was it. I applied to 3 colleges, Allegheny, William & Mary, and Princeton, but the decision had already been made in my senior year. I was looking for an article in the World Book Encyclopedia, when they had encyclopedias, which was arranged alphabetically. It was in the Peace section, and it happened to have an article on Princeton. Underneath a picture of Blair Arch in the article began, "Princeton has sent more Rhodes Scholars to Oxford than any other American university." I never bothered to read the rest of the article. Hell, I didn't even know Princeton was in New Jersey. My parents were both opposed to my going to Princeton for different reasons, but put up a united front. William & Mary was their substitute. But just a year before I applied to Princeton in 1955, the Whig Theosophic Society invited convicted perjurer Alger Hiss to speak. During the age of Joe McCarthy, this created a national furor. Dad's vehement response, "I don't want my boy going to a damn commie school." I believe it was my mother that got me into Princeton. 2 attorneys came down to Conneaut Lake from Erie, Pennsylvania to interview me. They began by announcing my parents' alma mater as Thiel College and not Thiel College. She was too polite to correct them. Afterwards, she allowed us how she thought they were a little stuffy. They thought she was charming. My mother's opposition was based not on politics, but on my future happiness. She thought it was a big jump from Conneaut Lake High School. She was right. I couldn't get into Princeton today, and certainly couldn't get into Carnegie Mellon with my marginal math skills. I'm sure I'm the only person on this university campus today who does not know how to use a personal computer. I'm 100% computer illiterate. A few words on my own career. In this light, I'm reminded of a speech by Winston Churchill. It seems there is an appropriate Churchillian quote for almost every occasion. Referring to Clement Attlee, who succeeded him as Prime Minister in 1945, Churchill remarked, "He is a modest man who has much to be modest about." My business career in steel and then in construction products was a long, slow slog. The company almost went bankrupt in 1975, losing over half its net worth in 15 months. It was tough on me, but it was tougher on my father. He was fully retired and living in Florida. I remember his anxious phone calls. "Son, are we going to make it?" I said, "Don't worry, Dad. We're going to make it." If the truth be known, I wasn't sure. As the Duke of Wellington said after Waterloo, it was a near thing. Soon after our brush with bankruptcy, we began to produce a product called light metal framing, commonly known as steel studs. We made a couple of good decisions and had more than our share of good luck. The company managed to capture 40% of the national market for this product. Mike Campbell, a character in Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises, faced bankruptcy. The protagonist of the novel, Jake Barnes, asked how it happened. Campbell replied laconically, "Slowly at first, rapidly toward the end." Our situation was the reverse. Our fortunes improved slowly at first and then rapidly later on. I said this day is about this region and this city. It had long been my dream to have a foundation to benefit the greater Pittsburgh area. My daughter, Ann Elizabeth Dietrich, who is here with us today, was supportive of the project right from the start before we had much money in the kitty. The die was cast when Dietrich Industries was sold in 1996, and all the proceeds passed to a charitable annuity trust. At the age of 58, I launched into a new career as a chief investment officer. I made more than my share of rookie mistakes, but learned gradually. The way things have worked out, we have built something that will have an enduring impact on this region. I also said that this day is about Carnegie Mellon. Pittsburgh has many wonderful institutions which enrich our lives, but Carnegie Mellon University has a special place on this list for me. I have always valued education and never stopped learning, and it's hard not to be aware of what goes on at this campus. This university puts Pittsburgh on anybody's world map of great research cities. Brilliant people come here as students and faculty, and their presence in our community adds something extraordinary. The firm attracts companies like Google. The college attracts some firms like Google and Intel. They create new companies and new ideas. They add to the city's vibrant artistic and cultural life. They win Tonys, Oscars, and Nobel Prizes. They never stop exploring. They never stop looking for a better way to do something. And they never stop working to make tomorrow better, things better tomorrow than they are today. We're all grateful to Jerry Cohen and his predecessors for their extraordinary leadership in building and sustaining this great university, and I feel privileged to be able to contribute to its future. I have no doubt that as brilliant as the past has been, its best days lay ahead. My mother would be thrilled to have her name associated with this wonderful school, and my hope is that naming this college for her, you remember some of the values that made her life so meaningful. I note that we customarily refer to our undergraduate university as our alma mater, our mother school. There is wisdom in that idea. Sometimes in the drive to compete and strive and struggle, we forget that underpinning all our achievement and accomplishment is a simple sense of being loved. Is that feeling of security that allows us to take the risks, dream the dream, and dare to live life with a courage that is forged by nurturing and abiding care. With Marianna Brown Dietrich College, we will now have a constant reminder of this wisdom. When I think of my mother today, I'm reminded of a notable American classic, a 1941 book by photojournalist Walker Evans and film critic, novelist James Agee, called Let Us Now Praise Famous Men. It is about Southern sharecroppers who had little in material wealth, but were rich in the solid values of honesty, hard work, and unwavering commitment to family. By the standards of that book, my mother was a famous person. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Bill. Those words were truly inspiring to all of us, I think. Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron Gross, and I am a very recent alum of the now renamed Dietrich College of Humanities and Social Sciences. HNSS is very, very glad to finally have a name to be given to us. So we're very pleased today. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here today on this truly special occasion to share with you all a few thoughts about the history and significance of the fence, which is so beautifully painted in honor of Bill right outside this tent. Students and many people in the audience will already know a bit about the history of the fence, and they'll know that the fence is one of the great cherished traditions of Carnegie Mellon. Back in the days when Carnegie Mellon was just the Carnegie Technical Schools, the ground that we're sitting on right now was not flat as it is right now, but was actually a true cut, a ravine that separated the Carnegie Technical Schools on one side from the Margaret Morrison College for Women on the other side. And over this big cut, there was a bridge that served to connect the two areas. And that bridge served as a very convenient mixing and mingling point for the men of Carnegie Tech to interact with the women of Maggie Moe. But over time, as Carnegie Tech grew, the space where the cut was gradually filled in by construction, and it became the solid ground that we're sitting on today. And naturally, that bridge that had been there before was useless, and it was taken down. In its place, I believe it was the senior class of the year 1923 erected a fence to serve as a similar meeting point between students and a gathering point on campus. And the legend goes that one night, a group of enterprising young fraternity brothers decided that they would paint the fence in honor of a party that they were having. And the story is that that party went on to become the most successful party that Carnegie Mellon has ever seen and probably ever will see. And ever since that day, students from literally generations of Carnegie Mellon students have painted the fence to advertise their club meetings, campus events, political affiliations, remembrances. There have even been a few wedding proposals that have been made via the fence. So truly a great communication medium on campus. But more than the fence just being a great way to communicate, the fence has become a place that truly connects the campus community. You can ask any student of any major, any department, and they'll be able to tell you about a time that they were out at midnight painting the fence with their friends with only hand brushes. Those are the rules: no rollers, no spray paint, and only between 12 and 6. The fence is truly the single most recognizable, most cherished, and most valued symbol of Carnegie Mellon. And it's in that spirit that I'm going to ask Andres and Maideni to come back up to present a gift on behalf of the student body to you, Bill, in honor of your incredible generosity today. So if you will reveal the replica. And this is a replica of the fence. I believe it weighs... I was told that it weighs 30 pounds, so I will not be transporting that. Thank you again, Bill. Thank you so much. Let's give him a round of applause.
I'd like now to introduce Ed Frank and Sarah Ratchey, who are both graduates and strong advocates for Carnegie Mellon University, as well as my neighbors in Silicon Valley. Sarah studied visual art at the College of Fine Arts, and Ed did his doctorate in computer science. Sarah is an artist, and Ed is now a Silicon Valley executive and a life trustee of Carnegie Mellon. He is also chair of the university's $1 billion fundraising campaign. One of their daughters, Whitten, is also a CMU graduate with a degree in drama and creative writing. Let me introduce Ed and Sarah.
Thank you, Ray, and good morning to all of you. And thank you, Ray. I also want to let you know that I did talk to Bill. I know how you can get in the second edition of the book. Okay. It could cost you a little bit, but don't worry about it. Okay. It's a great pleasure to be here today for this exciting occasion, and like all of you, to thank Bill on behalf of all of us who are graduates of Carnegie Mellon for this wonderful gift. Bill, what you have done is made possible truly a transformational future for the university, not to mention making my job as head of the Capitol campaign a heck of a lot easier. In this era of globalization, where the preeminence of the United States is being challenged in many ways, there's one area where, without question, we remain preeminent, and that's our research universities. Carnegie Mellon is part of a unique group of American institutions that are responsible for producing the preponderance of the world's most brilliant engineers and scientists, not to mention many of the world's great actors, architects, and artists. And in doing so, we help make the world a better place. The underpinning of all of this is something else that the U.S. excels in, and that's philanthropy. The great educational and cultural institutions of our country, almost without exception, are the result of the wisdom, public-mindedness, and vision of men and women of means. And while Carnegie Mellon is a university like no other, it simply would not exist without people like Bill, people of great foresight, who thoroughly understand the value of universities such as ours in making our economy more productive, our communities more vital, our country stronger, and the world more just and secure. In making the gift we are announcing today, Bill Dietrich firmly places himself among the philanthropic giants of our time. But I'm sure Bill would agree that while he is fortunate to be able to make such a gift, every gift, no matter what the size, makes an important difference in furthering our university's mission. When our Board of Trustees, of which Bill has been an integral part for many, many years, established the Inspire Innovation campaign roughly 8 years ago, we knew we would have to work hard to reach our goal. I don't know if Bill had in mind at the time a gift of the magnitude of the one he's making today, but I do know he was always committed to making the campaign successful because of its importance to the future of Carnegie Mellon. I also know that in making this gift, Bill is looking for many others, hopefully many of you, both graduates and future graduates, to follow in his footsteps in committing themselves to Carnegie Mellon and to providing our university with the resources it needs to attract and train the best students in the world. Bill just spoke eloquently about his family life. I was great, and especially how his mother taught him to recognize the depth of responsibility we have to one another. This shared responsibility is something that is conveniently ignored by almost all of us at various points in our lives. But we can learn a lesson from Bill's mother, who was not wealthy, famous, or powerful, but nevertheless did what she could for her family and her community with the resources she had. And it was the joy of her life to do so. Mrs. Dietrich's core conviction that we have a shared responsibility to our community is what philanthropy and great philanthropy is all about. Bill, in making your gift, you inspire all of us to do our part in taking responsibility for the institutions that make our community and our country great. Thank you so much for your generosity. I'd now like to ask my wife, Sarah, to come up, who give her some of her thoughts on Bill's gift to the university.
Hello. It's lovely to see all the alumni and graduates and students here. I was a student here once, and I really enjoyed my time here and appreciated my professors. And I want to add my gratitude and delight at Bill's generosity. As Ray told you, Ed came to Carnegie Mellon as a doctoral student in computer science, while I came to study art. And what seems like a few short years later, Our daughter Witten studied drama and writing. 2 generations of our family now represent different ways that Carnegie Mellon has and will influence the world. I can only imagine the ways in which Bill's gift will have impact on our world. It will build labs, studios, and classrooms. It will allow our students to dream and theorize and write, to produce plays, paintings, concertos, poems, and tutoring software. It will build a lot of very interesting robots. It will fuel inspiration and results towards reducing carbon emissions and designing buildings that produce more energy than they consume. This gift will contribute to efforts to make sure that everyone has access to clean air and clean water, and these are very difficult problems. Carnegie Mellon students and graduates will unravel the mysteries of our brains and our behavior. They will help us to learn new languages. Professors and students will mesh science and art to visualize and model the origins of the universe. From that knowledge and scholarship, they will create new materials and help propel human beings into the cosmos. Most of all, it will enable the university to continue its mission to teach, to explore creativity in all endeavors. This generous gift will ensure that many generations of dynamic, informed, and innovative Carnegie Mellon graduates will create the future. Thank you so much, Bill. And I don't know who's speaking next. Sorry. Ray.
I'm always a good default. Thank you, Ed, and thank you, Sarah, for those inspiring reflections and all you do for Carnegie Mellon. It's amazing. We have a scrum of about 5 of us in Northern California, a few of us in Southern California, and we talk a lot about Carnegie Mellon. And they may, all of our cohorts may be surprised to hear us talk about Carnegie Mellon, but they're more surprised we're not talking about Stanford, and we don't talk about Stanford. I also want to thank Ian McIntyre. Is he here? Ian, thank you. I want to thank you and the Delts for staying up all night and painting that fence. Thank you. And I hope you keep that quiet that I actually thanked a Delt for anything, okay? That was a Kappa Sig. Now I want to assure all of you that this party is just getting started. There will be a celebration for the students and faculty of the Marianna Dietrich College this afternoon at Baker Hall. And the party continues tonight for everyone in the Carnegie Mellon community with a free concert on the Mall featuring the rock band Guster. Yeah. And then fireworks after that. So it's, yeah, nice, huh? Yeah. What I want to see low-hanging clouds with fireworks going up through them. That's what... So whether you're here in person for all of these events today, or you're watching in Pittsburgh, or you're at some other location around the world, on behalf of Bill Dietrich, Jerry Cohen, the Board of Trustees, and the entire university community, I want to thank all of you for joining us today for this historic occasion. And we celebrate and honor our very generous friend, Bill Dietrich, and the future of this great university, Carnegie Mellon. Thank you.